So something came to my attention because I'm listening to the stuff, and this is going to be all on the Jeffrey Epstein thing, okay? Because some things aren't sitting well with me. But I think we have to talk about it and realize that, you know, something's going on, and it might make sense with what I think, okay, is going on, so people won't get so angry at President Trump, even though I was getting a little angry there. But then you got to sit back like I do, start doing other things, and in my mind, as I'm doing work or I'm busy, you know, I think about it, and then the anger, you know, starts to make sense, okay, starts to make sense. So when, let's just go back and remember when Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and even Dan Bongino, right, was all placed. Did I not hear, okay, of files, of the Epstein files on Pam Bondi's desk, right? Remember that? Did you remember when she was supposed to release and only certain things were, and then all of a sudden it dies down, right? Many people were upset. But then what happened is we were getting good news from Doge and Elon Musk. So all of that took that away, right? It distracted us to go to that. So now what's coming out, just doesn't make sense to me, is the fact that all of a sudden we're hearing, oh, there's no list, right? There's no list. When I heard that, I was like, oh, something's up with this shit, right? Something's up with that. There's no list, right? But it, you know, and then when I have to hear that even President Trump is saying, we're talking about that again. See what I mean? Like, it makes you wonder, because normally President Trump is the one, when he says something, then we start hearing about it. So what I'm feeling, okay, is that, how about this? Somebody tell me, if there's no files and there's no nothing, and it's just a simple that he killed himself and that, then can somebody explain why is Ghislaine Maxwell in jail? How about that? Why is she sitting in jail? If there's no where she was supposed to lure the girls in, the young girls, there has to be more to that. And how about this? If there was nothing, no files, then why did Jeffrey Epstein have to have so many cameras in on that island, right? It makes you wonder, why did he put all those cameras in all those rooms, and everybody that came, right? He had things on them. Think about it, right? Think about it. Why all of that? Then all of a sudden, Kash Patel says there's no files, right? We got President Trump that wants to know why we're talking about it, but then people forget something, right? You gotta remember something. We're all hoping that there's still the chance of the Brunson brothers, okay, the Brunson brothers and their case, because you can't just write that case off. And with their case, and if it goes to the Supreme Court, that means, and they win, and understand, there will be many Democrats. There will be not just Democrats, there will be all those, you know, Congress people that are going to end up being removed. And then understand something. If all those files come out, right? If all that name list comes out, every Democrat that's on that list and every Republican that's on that list will be removed and arrested. Then what do we have coming up? See, every day that this takes time, we're getting ready, because I always say we're always in election mode. Well, the little thing in my head is, oh, I get it. they don't want this. President Trump does not want all of this coming out now when we have the midterms, okay? The midterms are coming. Do you remember? Look how fast. 2026. November of 2026, which is what now? A year and 2 months? We're already July, right? So it's going to be a year from now. Am I correct? A year from now that we're going to be going into the midterms. So do they want to arrest these people and remove them when we don't know yet what new government we're going to have and how that's going to be structured? So is it a possibility that that's the reason that they don't want to push forward on the Epstein files? Think about it. I mean, you know, that's what's going to happen. I know people are upset because I'm hearing it. Well, you know, if President Trump is going to be that way and he's going to start worrying and that, then he is going to turn off people. See, that's the problem. If he doesn't go along with it, he can lose voters. That's why we always have to be careful and think about what he's doing. The other thing, you know, people say, well, look what happened with Elon Musk. Yeah, Elon Musk, come on guys, think. Elon Musk is not for the big, beautiful bill. Why? Because he's not going to make any money. You need to understand that. Elon Musk with the big, beautiful bill will not make any money. Okay? You can't, who's having a hard time hearing me? My volume is up. Is your volume up? Can you hear me? Everybody can hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, everybody. Even Primrose said volume's up. Everybody. So remember, guys, President Trump knows exactly what he's doing, and believe me, everything is set in place. I keep saying it. We're headed for a totally different government. Everything we see, do you notice? Everything. When the first thing President Trump needed to do with Elon Musk was to show the people the fraud and the waste. And that was when he did Doge. Little by little, the next thing I keep telling you is that he's working on exposing the corrupt judges. Because if we don't get rid of those judges, that you won't be able to charge all these people. Okay? We have such corruption with all these liberal judges and everybody being paid off. So it's all in stages. So what you need to do is you need to step back, not be so mad with President Trump, because I look at it that he knows everything that he's doing. Everything. And, you know, Pam Bondi, had to be a reason. Yep, now it makes sense. Somebody said, well, now wait a minute. Because things don't move very fast with our justice. We all want to see people brought to justice. We want to see arrest. Which here's another thing. And I've said this. I've said it to my sister. I said it to a lot of people. We're going to end up seeing Democrats being arrested, okay? Not for things of the past. Do you know what I mean by that? When you think about it, because they're losing their mind, okay? And when they lose their mind, they're doing stupid things and sloppy. And you know what I mean by that? One of the first signs is when the two Democratic senators, right, were shot. Two are what? Still in the hospital, a husband and a wife, and then another couple. Do you remember that video? That when she came on in that morning and she said, I was happy to do the right thing and stand with the Republicans. Well, guess what? This is how sloppy they are. And look how sloppy Tim Walz is also. So I look at it where we're sitting around and we're waiting for the Department of Justice to go and start arresting. And I sit here going, well, guess what? This is going to be better. Because we're going to see them getting arrested for shit that they're doing, right? Like, whoever that is that shot, okay, had something to do with Tim Walz, right? They're getting sloppy. And that's why I feel they're losing their mind. Right now, again, 85%, I say 85%, we're all for President Trump. And especially here in Florida, I mean, it's the greatest thing. Everything, wherever you go, you could feel it versus other states. And basically, there's only 15%, and little by little, people are seeing the good President Trump is doing. And it's just going to get better. That's why I tell people, you got to stay positive. You got to, do things that make you happy. You have to surround yourself with happy people. Start doing things that we put on hold. Technically, I'm always going to say it. Those 10 years, we all put on hold. I feel like I had a big part in getting President Trump back in the White House is what our goal was. I feel very positive with what he's doing. I also feel that a lot of this is, I don't call it distraction. I call it, we have an issue with the mainstream media. The other day, I forgot what senator that was. It'll get to me. But look what he told CNN. He literally told her to her face that she's nothing but a liar, right? She's a liar. They lied about the jet pilots, right? Didn't they lie about them? They lie. What they're lying about also is they're going on and they want the American people. They want people to think that it is American people that are being cut off from that bill, okay? They're going to be cut off from Medicaid. They don't tell the truth. Common sense. And I even post it. Why do we have to hear that we need 60 senators to vote on taking illegals off our Medicaid? Remember I spoke about that? Oh, I want to know, as an American, who even put them on? See, that's the question. Where are all the arrests for all these people that have stabbed us in the back? When you think about it, you think about our Social Security. Why aren't we all making more money? I feel right now that that's what's owed to us. Every single time they took money and gave it to other countries after we have a budget, isn't that a slap in the face to us? That every year there's a budget money going to Colombia, to this Argentina, wherever the hell they're going. You saw what happened to President Trump in his first term when he decided that he wasn't going to release funds to what? To Ukraine? Remember that time? And look what they wanted to do. Stupid Vindman, that idiot, and his brother, and other people in the government wanted to do. That's one of the impeachments. And why did we vote for President Trump? Because we need a president to stop. That's what he's there for. Every little thing that President Trump is doing is for what we voted for. Like now here in Florida, I think it's great. I really do. I think it's great that they built Alligator Alcatraz. That is only one way in. And the only way that they're going to get out is through a plane. And if they try to escape, after all, we are on alligator land. I say it all the time. So if anything, we got to give a job to the alligators. That's how I see it. And the thing is that it's great because President Trump promised us. that this is what he was going to do. And it's sad when we watch Democrats being so concerned about illegals. Okay? Look at now how we watch people, we watch our own friends, okay, that are battling with cancer, or for me and other people with Debbie, how she, lost her fight, okay? Other people. Marion had her, I guess, her stepdaughter, okay, even though also at the same time lost her life to it. I mean, it's sad. We see this every day. And why is it that when they're going through this, they have to fight? I watched this, okay? I watched how hard, as you're fighting, when you know, and you can have money put away for your burial or your cremation, then all of a sudden you have to use that, because now, as you're battling cancer, every single penny between this test and this test, then you find out, didn't it happen with Missy? Okay? I had extra plan for her when she got the cancer in her head. And isn't it sad that you have that, you're paying it, and then when she got the sebaceous carcinoma stage 2 in her head, and then to see her go through the surgery she went through, and I kept telling her, don't worry, you're going to get that extra $20,000 to help with the bills and that. Then turned around, we put the claim in, and they say, oh, we don't cover that type of cancer. What do you mean? I told them. Okay, cancer's cancer. And every little thing that we watch, going in a hospital, like with Debbie, going out, going to rehab, okay? Rehab saying you can only stay here for 2 weeks. Then where do you go? Do you see? Then you sort of give up because things ain't working. See, that's another thing. I don't know what crap is in chemo lately or radiation, but it just seems that it's not working, and all they do is fight. And why should that be? Why should any one of us Americans even have to pay to leave this earth? Here in Florida, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm here 30 years, and I've seen more cremations. And you know why? Because, it's more seniors. A lot of seniors can't afford it, okay? And I think it's wrong. I think that when you hit a certain age, seniors shouldn't even be taxed. I don't believe that we should be paying property tax. It irks the shit out of me when I bought this land, okay? I bought the land, right? We buy the land. Then after we buy the land, I got to turn around and pay tax, right? Does that make sense? When I'm paying to mow the land. I'm paying to put water on the land. But why is that? Why is it that I buy land so I could put my house on it, and then we have to go, and then each year, and then the shit is that when something happens and you can't afford it anymore, they're going to come and take your house? Does that make sense? So there should be where seniors probably at 65, we shouldn't have to pay that anymore. And we should not have to pay for when we die. I think it's ridiculous. I say it all the time. Even when I did my arrangements and the arrangements for Missy, it's like buying a car. And I said to them, this is how much for a coffin that's probably going to go in a wall or go in the ground. The same thing, when I moved down here, I went to more memorials. And you know why? It kind of like bothered me, because I feel that people don't have the choice. They make things, like that, but yet they're still charging for cremations $5,000 or $6,000. And it just doesn't make sense. There should be a way that when a person dies, okay, it should be paid for. And their wishes should be paid for. There's many people that don't want to be cremated, okay? And for them, to turn around and say, well, you got to be cremated. Whatever happened with that? And especially the Catholic religion, which is what I am, okay? I don't believe that all of a sudden it changed. You know what I mean? I still believe. And that's why a couple of years ago, I was doing the cremation. But you know what happened with me? It didn't sit well. It kept bothering me. Kept really, really bothering me until one day I got up and I said to Missy, I can't do this. And why? I would go out to the grotto, and when I'm speaking to, praying out there, I just thought, I kept getting these feelings like, no, you can't do cremation. My aunt is not cremated. My mother is not cremated. My father's not cremated. My grandparents are not cremated. And at one time, the Island of Malta didn't believe in that. The same way they didn't believe in divorce and things like that. So I think now that I'm older and I feel comfortable, I'll tell you, it was a relief when I came home and I said to Missy, I said, I don't know if you want to stay being cremated, I'm not. I'm going to be in a wall just like my parents. But the problem is, look what happens. I just am getting finished now just paying for the wall. This is the other shit where you have to go and now start prepaying, for the caskets. Then the funny shit is you got it here now that you could buy a casket from Walmart. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine me, I laugh about it, going to pick out a casket, and then I say, oh, and they're going to deliver it. Where the hell are you delivering it? To my yard? Right? It has to go. And the sad thing about it that gets me mad when I even question, because we're going to be with Florida Memorial, okay, up here in Spring Hill. And now the sad part about it, it's not like when I did the arrangements for my parents, where you go and you see what you want, okay? You pick the coffin. This is different now. When I was told, oh, you're going to look at this magazine or a book. See what I'm talking about? Everything. I'm telling you guys, they really, I'm going to always say this, our country has really gone really like a third world country. As much as I feel we're headed the right, but everything, every little thing that we got a call about, when I got a call for internet and I have to talk to somebody that's in another country about my internet here, isn't it crazy? This is where I feel like they made us into a third world country with everything. And it's sad. Pretty soon I tell Home Depot, I go in there and I tell them, I said, you know what, you're not going to have a job anymore. Oh, what do you mean by that, Deb? And I tell them, because everything we have to get on Amazon or PayPal. See? And the funny thing, do many of you guys have your bill like, see, I get a paper bill, so I keep on top of that. But for the many people that they even suckered you in, that, oh, you don't need to see your bill. Just have it come out of your check. I'll bet you don't even know how much finance charge you're paying. Now, isn't that sad? Where we used to get things right from Home Depot. We used to get things by getting up off your ass and going there to buy it. See? Now, you got to hear, well, we could even deliver it in the morning. But little do you know, go and look at your Amazon bill. And when you see $52 or even up to $87 in finance charges, that's sickening. And that's why they do it. Because people are just getting so used to that. This is what you do. Hey, I tell everybody now that we have to have a cell phone. And guess what? You're going to have a cell phone. And I say it all the time, even when you die. And I laugh about it, I joke about it, and I tell Missy, anybody, don't forget to put the cell phone in my coffin, because knowing me, I'm going to get up there and they're going to say, oh, Deb, do you have your password? I'm going to turn around and say, yes, I do, okay? And guess what? I emailed your asses to let you know I was coming 4 days ago when I died. That's what's going to happen. And everything you're going to have, because it happens now. Okay? A lot of seniors now, I call it agita. I know my sister's suffering with that because everything now is a worry. Okay? Like today, she was in New York for 10 days, visiting her son, and she saw my 2 brothers, and we were on live. But even today, when she came back, well, yesterday, when did they come back? Saturday? I think it was Sunday. No, Saturday I picked them up. But the sad thing about it is to even go to take blood. So just before I came live, I made her appointment. Everything is like that, even to the doctors. Everything's on your phone. Do people realize that? Everything's on the phone. Yeah. Do you have all your phone numbers? Because it's true. Me and Marion talked about that. Right, Marion?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Think about it. We're going to do a list now. Missy's going to do a list. We all got to do a list because think about it.
Right.
Do you have your phone? Do you know your numbers? What's going to happen if you accidentally, because look at now when, even going out. See, Marion, what'd you realize about me that you didn't know before when we were out and about? People notice that now. I'm not on my phone. I could be out. Even when I went to the dances I might video something, but I'm just not like that.
We're putting our phones away, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was amazed because you would think, well, you're deplorable Deb. You're always doing something. No, when I'm out, I keep my phone. Many times you can't even get me on the phone. Like Missy says, you don't answer your phone. My sister tells me the same thing. But the fact is that I see is like when I just went to have my knee x-ray, right? And all of a sudden I walked in that morning and every single person I wanted to make a joke, but I don't know if they would have threw me out. I was going to ask, oh, are you all here to get your neck checked? Because this is how they were. This is how they were. And I even sat down next to a senior, which I didn't think would be, but there they are. Everybody's like this. And there's me saying, good morning, hi, because sometimes you want that. There are people that just want to, they might have lost a loved one and they just want to go out and they retire and they want to go to McDonald's. And sometimes with McDonald's, you can't even get the cashier. So now they're forced to use a kiosk pad, And it's sad when you watch that. Because there are people that just want to say good morning, like me. I'm very friendly. I just want to walk in a place and, get a smile, and you don't want to just talk to the people behind the desk. Then you turn around, and I'm telling you right now, all like this. All like this. Even the lady that I was sitting next to. And I was shocked because before, you didn't see many seniors. Now everybody is into that. And you know what? I think even, you want to hear something? I went yesterday to get my hair cut. I don't know. My hair cutter was telling me that it's becoming really bad with the phones. And she had company over the weekend. And she noticed that as soon as they ate, instead of just chit-chatting and talking. Thank God it doesn't happen here. I don't know, maybe because I keep people laughing or we're talking about stuff and, so I'm happy that when people come here, they're not on their phone unless, and you don't even hear it, you know what I'm saying? Or they take the phones out to take pictures of us having a good time. But she said that it was strange that everybody ate, and then right after they ate, who went over there, and then they realized, God, look where we become. And there's no more socializing, you know what I mean? There's no more of that, and it's scary. And also, how all of this cell phones and everything, and how I feel we gotta, we're stuck to it, and it gets on my damn nerves. When even now, you gotta have, like with Missy, many people. Do you even get a pay stub anymore? We had to do something where we had to present the pay stubs, and it's all up to us. So again, I gotta go to ADP. Never had that before. And this is what's happening. Everything you gotta do online. Even now with Marion, many people know she's been working on with a condo, right?
Right.
Helping her and everything. I'm telling you, I never seen anything.
Tell them to pray for me.
Yes, everybody pray for Marion. And the thing is, you can't, when I take my phone and I gotta like do this, and I'm squinting, or even to get it. I mean, thank God I'm smart with all of this. Okay? Even for Missy, like Missy tells everyone, if during her time of becoming a nurse, it's scary. Even now, she had to do her license. I had to help her with the license. And, when all your life you did not have to deal with this, I think it's disgraceful. And I tell the people, as long as I got a mailbox outside, you're mailing me a bill. And if you're not careful, when you're paying for it online, they automatically, the water company did it here. Thank God I have good credit with them. Because all of a sudden, for 2 months, I'm like, where's my water bill? So then you call up, well, when we're sending, you're going online, and there it is, already checked. You want to go paperless. And I tell them, that should not have an automatic check. It should be where I go to check it, not you guys, because that's what happened. I thought there was something wrong with our plumbing. Not that they turned the water off, but I'm like, what's going on? And the woman said, oh, you checked. No, I didn't check that, I told her. I still want a paper bill. And I tell every credit card, everyone, I want a paper bill. But guess what? So now that I want a paper bill, we all got to be charged for that. What happened to years ago when we got a paper bill? We're entitled to that. And I give it to them. You know why? Because I'm entitled to a paper bill. I tell them that. When I have a credit with you, I want to see it. And if I want it on paper, tell me why I can't have it on paper. And they can't answer that. But they want to charge me $1.99. See? Why do we have to pay $1.99 when a lot of people are having it paperless? Because they're, I say this. Don't you want to know what is on your bill? Like I used to tell people with their checking account. You do, balance your checkbook. And they look at me like, no, Deb, when it's just off a couple of cents. And I tell them, do you know when your checkbook is off a couple of cents, you don't go? That is one of the scams. This is how these scammers start with taking money from your account, because they did that to my Aunt Liz. They start off taking like 43 cents, right? Then a couple of days later, they'll go and they'll charge like $1. This is what happens. The banks could tell you too. That's why you gotta look at your checking account and say, why is this off, and why is this charge on my aunt's account at like 4 o'clock in the morning? Then what they did is they tried to charge $100 in a gift card. I caught all of that. All of that I caught. And when you talk to the bank, they tell you the same thing. It starts off in little cents. But you know what? This is the world that they created. What about now? Every time the damn phone rings. And you know what? The phone companies are full of shit. The FBI is full of shit. I'll tell you why with this too. You know how many people still are in La La Land on their phones and believing that the person they're texting is real? Okay? You all remember that. Okay? You know how sad that is? This is what texting created. Texting created of people thinking they're in love and they're in love with a person just texting. And that, I'm telling you, is really sad. And that's still going on. And I say to myself, I don't want to hear that the FBI or the Department of Justice can't find these scammers and to stop it. Or the phone company. How about the phone company? Or WhatsApp app? Or all these other things that people are thinking. And that's why I'm telling you guys, anybody out there is in love with who now? Reba McEntire? You really think Reba McEntire is writing to you? Or Dan Bongino? Or Terry Clark is writing to you? Really? Truthfully? They're not. And that's what's sad. Or you're getting caught in scams, okay? Because before, it was the catfish people, right? Catfish people. Go to, what's his name? Oh, Dr. Phil. Go and look at those things. How many people have now lost friends or lost loved ones or family members because they rather not listen to you telling them that it's not real? And you know why I say this? Because when you fall in love or a person falls in love, it's common sense that you got to hear their voice or you got to meet them or you got to see them. All right? It's sickening. And I've watched this, okay? I watched this. You guys know I watched this. And it's sad when it happens over again. And it's probably happening now. Because you go online and you read up on it and nobody can stop it. Nobody can stop the catfish or they can't stop the people because it's people. There are people that actually sit in an office. This is their life. And it's over in Nigeria. It's over in the oil. Okay, they pretend. And they sucker people for money. And they destroy lives and they destroy friendships. And it's sickening. And I'm fed up with it. I really am. I'm fed up with it because I don't want to hear the FBI can't stop these people. Or the FBI can't go and check on somebody's phone. How does this happen? And it's sad because people are going through that. Okay? People, I hear friends, I hear this, I hear that. But you know what the scared part is? Is that they, how do I say this? These people, these bastards, these fuckers, that's what I call them, okay? I could say it. They destroy friendships. They destroy love. They destroy everything. So they can sucker you to think that a person is loving you or a person is coming for you or a person is changing your life. And it's sickening. And I worry about many who will decide, you know, that they don't want to live anymore because that's where it's going to go. And then when you try to tell the person, right, now you become the abuser, is that sick? When you're looking at your loved one or you're looking at your friend and you're trying to tell them to don't do that, it's not real. They're not coming. They're not coming for you. And it goes on and you don't ever hear their voice. You're telling me that the phone company can't stop that shit? I tell you guys all the time, when they come on my page, Do you see how quick I take them off? Because one of the first things that you need to be aware of is when you're talking with somebody and they decide that they're not going to call you, they want you to go to a different site, okay? You go to either WhatsApp or another site, and now you're into texting. And then the love builds. That's what I don't get. I don't know how, but this is sad because they target people. They target seniors. They target people. And another thing, it's what you tell them, okay? You have to be careful what you're telling them. And then another thing I want to alert you. When they're talking to you, they never say your name. Listen to me. I'm telling you the truth. They never say your name. And do you know the reason why they call you honey or sweetie or baby and that? Because they never get caught. Understand? They never get caught. Because when they're talking to you, it's like a shift. They're coming in, clocking in, okay? And then this way, when they take over, and you notice it's always at a time that your loved one or your friend is texting, is because that's the time. And then they look at their notes, they look at where the other one left. I'm serious, guys. It's not a joke. And you all know I lost a friend, 4 or 5 years ago? You remember Kathleen, right? Remember with that? And to know now I lost another friend, because I'm not wrong about this. It's sad, and it hurts me. It hurts me a lot, because I'm watching this. I've seen it. And this is what's happening. This is why on Facebook, when I watch these men, and here's another thing. You might think you're talking to a man. It's probably a woman. Okay? And it's sick. What is it? Or a friend of a friend. Right. And if you guys remember what was happening when this was happening with Kathleen, this went on with during the time with Missy. And I blew a fit because not only, you know, are they reeling that person in, but then they want her to now disclose me and Missy. Do you see what I'm saying? Like we become, and it happened here in my house until I said, who are you telling? Who are you telling my shit or Missy's shit to? This is what they do because they want them to believe that they're real. So part of being real is they want to know everything about your life. See what I'm saying? And what I don't understand, and it was the first time that I had to go through it, is how they lure you in. And they get you to believe that they're coming for you or they love you. I'm lost with that. I just don't get it. I know, you know, in relationships that I had any time, you want to see that person. If you fall in love, you want to be with that person. You want to see them. How does anybody, or hear their voice? If it's true, when are you going to hear the voice? Right? Or there's always an excuse. It's sad. It really is. And people's lives are going to be destroyed. Friendships are going to be destroyed. And I'm tired of it. And that's why I think the FBI dropped the ball on all of that, because I don't want to hear that you can't trace where a person is texting from to locate that. What about WhatsApp? They should go after WhatsApp, because a lot of that is happening on WhatsApp app. All of that's happening. So I'm glad I came on tonight, because there are things that I just don't want you guys to lose hope in President Trump. I think, and tell me what you think, right? I also want to thank the people that saw my post today. about with Debbie and how the Lemo family, like I said, sometimes it depends on how a person, I always say this, how they live their life. If a person, was married and, was in a marriage and had a lot of money and, had beautiful cars and all of that, and then all of a sudden, they get divorced and things change. There are some people that can't admit that they can't afford something. And we're all, I'm a believer, when people are sick, it's like now. I had to make arrangements because I don't want that happening to me. I don't want it happening to Missy. That, she doesn't have that. I say it all the time. I'm happy. It's not easy. Younger, I didn't want to hear nothing about funeral arrangements, but you know what? It's reality, guys.
You need to, absolutely.
You need to. And it makes me happy to know that I did this and, and it's just like another bill and people need to, because it shouldn't be, yes, with the family, but you know what? Sometimes it happens. And I appreciate the people I posted, for the kindness of helping the family to do the cremation. Marion gave, many people are giving, and it's sad. And sometimes, and I just want to see Debbie get a proper cremation,
It's hard.
It's what?
I say it's hard, but you need to sit on a table with your loved ones and you need
Yeah.
to talk about...
Can you hear Marion?
Yes.
And for people asking, where's Missy? Missy's well and fine, but Missy's working, okay?
Right.
So, you know what? I don't know why people do that. Missy is not missing in action. Missy is feeling very well, thank God.
I'm blessed with you and Missy, and I'm blessed to have you with the paperwork you're helping me with. So thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. And anybody that came here, has a good time, and I'm just like that. I help people. And that's why it hurts me when I lose a friend, okay? Not just Debbie, but also another friend when this scam is out there. But that's life. People don't want to listen. They don't. I know. It's hard. So people are saying hi, Marion.
Say hello back.
And yes, we have fun doing the reels or on TikTok. No, I have to tell you, I'm not a big fan of TikTok, right? But I went on it because of President Trump. Then sometimes I go on it to help another friend, okay? At that time, Marion now, we're doing videos. We're just having fun. That's what life is about. You know what? Because I say it all the time. We never know when it's going to be, when we're going to be called home, to home. So listen to my live here. I'm not used to now with Facebook, so I try not to stay over an hour because they're deleting. They even notified me that even my reels will be deleted. See what they're doing? So we'll talk again soon. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for donating for Debbie. We appreciate it and love you guys. And remember, President Trump, you gotta, I say it all the time, you gotta stay following him. I'm happy that I've said that. I always say it, and even now with him, you gotta understand. For me, I believe it's all to do with the midterms. Because I'll tell you what, that list comes out, which there is a list. I don't want to believe it's not. Because why was it sitting on Pam Bondi's desk? Remember she said, oh, the list is on her desk. Then what was it? What was on her desk, right? And why is Ghislaine Maxwell in jail, right? Why? Yep. And it's all about the midterms. Because think about it. To arrest all these people, because you know the list is going to be big, okay? I think it's going to probably take up the whole Democratic Party and a good part of the Republicans, because they're all part of it. I always say it, they all gotta go. I've said it, all gotta go.
Absolutely.
And then get a new party coming in, because that is President Trump. Remember when President Trump was leaving, right? And he said we will be back in a different form of government. Well, you're seeing it now, guys. I'm telling you. You're seeing it now. And that's why, in order, remember, things have to change. There's going to be things, I guess, written in the Constitution that has to change. And right now, they're more worried about how the midterms is going to play out. Yeah. So, have a good night. Remember, President Trump loves you. Everything's in God's hands. I love you. We all love you. Have a good night. Love you guys.
Night, night.
Marion says night, night. And yes, Missy's doing well, so stop writing, where's Missy? Like, pretty soon we're going to find her on. She's doing fine. I'm telling you right now.
And she is a great, great cook.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're eating pretty good, huh?
I know, right?
Have a good night. Love you guys. Bye-bye.